I have now spent a full 3 weeks here in my off-grid cabin. I had summer holiday and I decided to spend pretty much all of the summer holiday here in the cabin. And I figured I would go through quickly how the major things have worked out, because I have only spent a few days here and there in the cabin beforehand, and staying here for such a long time was, I believed, gonna prove to be a bit more challenging. But things in general have worked really well, and I will go through the major parts and how they worked out one by one. Cooking has been working really well. The water container, I just had to refill pretty much once or twice per week, and then it's been right there working pretty much as having normal water on a tap. And the stove has also been super sufficient. 2 burners, just enough for my needs. I've even been able to cook a solid 3-course dinner for my cousin and her family when they were visiting. So I am super pleased with this setup. I've had double cutting boards like this, and then some basic goods like butter and oil always available. All the other stuff is stored down here, and the storage has also worked really well. For example, just grabbing an egg, putting it in a pan. A lot of pasta, as you can see. And then some other food storage right there. One thing I realized when it comes to food storage is that the society that this hut is part of, there are about 50 cottages in total, and they are in one allotment society. And the society has shared buildings, and one of the shared buildings have both fridges and freezers. So I've been actually able to store food when I needed to, and I've not been completely reliant on having dry food or pasta or canned food and similar. So that was a big plus that I realized during this time of staying here. When eating, I've been mixing sitting in this spot here with sitting out on the patio. And right now it's not very clean out here. I've been doing a painting project. So this wall and the wall over there are newly painted. And I haven't taken down the tape here even. Always very satisfying. That looks great. I'm really happy. One of the more important parts of my stay here was to meditate regularly. And this meditation spot that I built has worked really well. The fact that it's so close to the bed, I have all my pillows and blankets, and I can just go straight up from bed and sit down. And then when I do the evening meditation, I can just go straight to bed afterwards. And talking about bed, this is the bed setup, and now I've been sleeping here for 20 nights straight, and it's been working incredibly well. I can't complain on anything with the bed setup. When I go to bed, I just take these large pillows and put them to the side like that. And then I have those small as extra pillows. And that's the whole process. I've been running the power setup all the time with the EcoFlow River 2 together with the solar panel that I right now have stored. And this has also been working very well. It seems to me that one of the things that's necessary is that you don't run your laptop on a regular basis, because the laptop consumes so much power that it's actually hard to drive it with such a small unit like this one and a small 110 watt solar cell like that one. But only running this lamp and charging the phone and charging speaker and camera and so on and so forth, that works really well. I have started putting the solar cells out here in the little common area in the allotment society, because the sun is so much stronger and so much more reliable here compared to over at my cottage. And this has worked really well. So when I put the solar here to charge, it can usually charge up to full in a few hours. And when I put it to charge in this position, lying down, it is now charging at 46 watts. But if I mount it towards something so that it's angled more properly up towards the sun, it's now hitting over 70 watts of charge. That's one of the more efficient charges I've been able to produce with this EcoFlow system. I have actually not been using the heater at all during this day, but for when I need to use it, I got a larger PC5 canister. So when there is a bit colder times and I come back here, I will definitely be kitted to be able to run the heater for a more sustained period of time. Then this fancy setup is my stand-up paddleboard and other gear that comes with it. So one of the main things I've done during this holiday is different forms of board sports. I have the stand-up paddleboard here. I also have an electric pump for the stand-up paddleboard, and I have a windsurfing sail right down there. So when it's windy, like it is today, it's possible to blow the windsurfing sail up and then use it together with the stand-up paddleboard. That's also inflatable. Dishwashing is another one of those everyday tasks that have been working really, really well. And I will show you the process quickly when I'm using cold water and dishwashing liquid to wash up my dishes for the day. After I put the first set of dishes into water, I will just let them sit there and soak for some time, and then I can sit down in my absolute favorite spot here and reflect a little bit on life. It's been such a grand time to spend so much time here, and I believe I finally found a way of living, a way of spending time off that makes me feel completely in the moment, completely with each task. So a cabin in the woods, maybe it is actually one of the really big lifestyle changes that I will appreciate for the rest of my life. Yeah, it's amazing how well it is working to have just the basic amenities and such a small amount of space available, but still how much living you can do in such a tiny little space. And there'll be love in the air, elephants too. Through, and there'll be sun. All my bodies and sun. I've slowly but steadily packed things up in here, cleaned everything, closed it down for the next few weeks to come, and I'm packing my last bits and bobs. Gonna move in the outdoor furniture and then close the door for this time around. All in all, I must say I am so impressed how well it has worked to stay for such a long time in an off-grid cabin that's only 15 square meters and with a 10 square meter patio. Also I have this little garden plot, but it's really small. All of it is really small, and I have been thinking for such a long time that I will be fine with a much smaller space than what I'm usually living in. And I have been. It's been more than fine. It's been a beautiful time. I've cherished every moment, and I'm really looking forward to when I can do this again.